a little baseball.
Baseball, baseball.
94.5 The Peak presents Wasatch Wasp Baseball on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. This broadcast is powered by Guild Mortgage, Dairy King, CarQuest Auto Parts, Physical at the Fit Stop, Wasatch Back Flooring, Napa Wasatch Auto Parts, Heber City Point S, Dorius Dental, and Bank of Utah.
Baseball.
The guy on first.
Who?
The first base.
Who?
The guy playing
Who
first.
is on first?
I'm asking you.
Now let's go live to the Diamond for play-by-play coverage of Wasatch Wasp Baseball on 94.5 The Peak.
Good afternoon and welcome to the ballpark. Tyler Barrett here with Tyler Moss live from Provo High School. Coming on right as the game begins. These 3:30 afternoon starts a little bit tough when you're a teacher and you got to teach till 2:30 and then get down and get set up. Not to mention we got some light flurries is the forecast today. Coach Barrett wouldn't show up. There wouldn't be snow here, but right now Chet Wilson in the box for the Wasps, the number 2 hitter. Lamb on the year for Provo High, 29 2/3 innings pitched, 3.78 ERA, or 3.78 ERA. He's the best pitcher for Provo. And Ty, as we kind of introduce this Provo team, is Chet takes a strike 2 and 1. What they're known for is really good 1 through 4, 1 through 5. They're going to be competitive 1 through 4, 1 through 5. They're going to have a stud on the mound that gets them wins. And then if you can get to the bullpen, if you can minimize the 1 through 4 hitters, you should have some success against Provo High School.
Well, yeah, traditionally this Provo team, this is the kind of game and weather that they would want, right? Because they're gonna scrap it out. They're gonna find a way to get guys on base through walks, hit by pitch, whatever, and then let those 3 or 4 good hitters drive them in and hope to keep the game a low-scoring one. And the cold weather tends to kind of lean to that advantage. Usually bats are not as good when the weather is cold.
Chet's going to foul off a couple of pitches here, move the count to 2-2. Again, if you're just joining us, Crew Erickson, the leadoff guy, grounded out to the second baseman, and his first at bat brings up Chet Wilson. 447 batting average on the year, 12 RBIs, 619 on base percentage in the last 5 games. Wasatch comes into today's game on a 5-game winning streak. Currently 6-7 on the year.
Yeah, my favorite stat of that winning streak is they've outscored their opponents 59-13 over that 5-game span, Tyler. And that's going to be the Gordon Law Group stat of the game here for you. Again, Wasatch in their last 5 games has been dominant offensively, outscoring their opponents 59-13. To do that, your pitching has to be good as well, and your defense, Ty, to hold a team to under 3 runs per game as they've been doing in their last 5.
2-2 count still. Chet's going to take one off the edge of the play, brings the count to full. Yeah, we're going to jump into some stats here of what Wasatch has been able to do in their last 5 games. You mentioned, Ty, 453 batting average, 12 runs per game, 13.6 hits per game, and only 3.6 Ks per game in the box. Chet's going to foul off. Nope, this is going to be a lazy fly ball to right field, or excuse me, to left field. Left fielder's going to come underneath it. Canicorn catch, and Wasatch has their first 2 guys retired.
Yeah, that's good quality at bat, though, there from Chet. Went 7 pitches deep in that at bat, fouled off some close ones, and had a chance for Peyton to see a lot of different options sitting on deck. And Swap, if you remember last year, Tyler, he did well down here at this field. He put a ball that might still be going over the left field fence.
Yeah, in fact, Ty, if you look at Game 2, Wilson, Swap, and Zimmerman combined for 9 for 13, 9 RBIs, 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run. And Peyton himself had a double, triple, and a home run. He had all 3 in this game against Provo down at this place. Kind of a weird series last year, Ty. If you remember, Jackson Bolander and Cole Mason, really good pitcher for Provo, had themselves a great outing at home at Wasatch in Game 1, a 1-0 victory. Wasatch scored in the bottom of the 7th to win that one. And then in Game 2, Wasatch struggled. Starting pitcher for Wasatch ended up, I think, walking 5 straight guys, right, to start off that game. 4 straight guys.
Hit 2.
And Wasatch just couldn't find it on the mound and ended up losing that game 14-16 in a high-scoring affair. So it went from 1-0 Wasatch win to a 16-14 Wasatch loss in Game 2.
Yeah, that game was unusual last year with Wasatch and Provo, Tyler, because you had 3 really good starting pitchers for Wasatch in Munoz, Bolander, and Kalama, and only 2-game series.
Yeah.
And Bolander went the distance and was excellent in Game 1, so you had both Kalama and Munoz. And after Caesar walked 4 straight, you went quickly to Jaron, and they both got lit up against this Provo team.
Payton's going to swing at the 2-1 pitch. It's going to be a fly ball to right field, pushes the right fielder all the way back close to the warning track, but makes the catch as Wasatch goes down in order. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll go into the bottom half of the first after this.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant.
You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Flooring and Paints.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Welcome back to the bottom half of the first inning. Your first inning action brought to you by Mountain Refined. Stop on into Mountain Refined for all your decorating needs. From furniture, blinds, flooring, they've got it all covered at at Mountain Refined. Wasatch goes down in order in the top half of the first. 1, 2, 3. It's going to bring up the bottom half of the first here at Provo High School. On the mound for the Wasps will be Jackson Kelson. Jackson Kelson comes into today's game 17 innings pitched, a 2.3 ERA. That's best on the team. 21 strikeouts, which is also best on the team, and 11 walks. In his last outing in Game 1 of the Maple Mountain Series, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 walks, 9 Ks, and only gave up 2 runs for the loss in that game.
So, yeah, he's been awesome, Tyler. Really the standout pitcher for Wasatch this year. Throws over 90 miles per hour on the mound. But who is this game harder on, the pitcher, the catcher, or the hitters, when you've got a high of 39 degrees right now is what it's supposed to be during the game today?
None of the above. The coaches. It's the worst on the coaches, Ty.
No way. You just sit in the dugout with all those coats on when you're the coach. I always think about the pitcher here, Ty, and it's got to be tricky because the fingers are going to get so cold, and that's such an important element of control. And I'm just curious how well these guys are going to be able to do having that chilly atmosphere, trying to get a good grip on the ball when they're throwing.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ty. For me, I always hated hitting in cold weather, but I was a pretty fair weather player when it came to I was like, all right.
You needed sunny too.
If I was any good,
sunny.
If I were any good, I would have held out, to go play in Tampa, or somewhere like that, or a dome or somewhere along those lines. To get to know this Provo team a little bit more, Ty, they come into today's game 5-8 on the year. They got swept by Spanish Fork in their opening Region 9 series. Their wins come over Tintview, Ridgeline, Highline East, and Uinta. 5.6 runs per game, 6.2 ERA on the year, number 23 currently in the RPI. Wasatch's record was updated to 6-7 on the RPI, but they still come in at number 11 in the RPI standings.
Really climbing quickly, Tyler, in these RPI standings. Their opponent's winning percentage is the best in the state right now. Over 60% of that RPI comes from opponent's winning percentage. They played the strongest schedule out of any team, and that's really helped them out now that they're putting some W's on the board to go along with it.
Leadoff hitter here for the Provo Bulldogs will be the catcher, Martinez, a junior. Started every game last year as a sophomore. He's their best hitter, 395, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and 14 RBIs. He's going to take strike one. Jackson Kelson's now going to bounce one that's going to hit the catcher, hit the umpire. That might be on the list, too, umpiring right now in this type of weather.
Well, this is one. Don't get comfortable in there if you're the hitter in the box because you got a guy throwing 90-plus, and he's going to have a hard time gripping the ball. Could get some fireworks there with some guys getting hit. Another ball.
Move the count to 2-1. Tyler, you called a lot of pitches against Martinez last year. What makes Martinez effective in the box?
Well, he's got good plate coverage here, Tyler. He jumps on the pitch that is a mistake. He's a little bit of a pull-happy hitter. He wants to get on that inside pitch, but he leans over the outside and can cover that as well, Ty. And so he's a tricky guy to get out. But if you want to get him out, we actually found the most success getting in on the hands and trying to get it up in the zone.
Well, swing and a miss as Jackson Kelson gets the first strikeout of the game, and it was on that inside part of the plate, ties. He went inside with an off-speed and then went back with that inside fastball and gets him swinging on both of them as Jackson Kelson has his first Physical at the Fit Stop strikeout. Physical at the Fit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries. Batting second for Provo will be Gingras, a junior. He's going to take ball 1, 238 batting average on the season, is also going to be on the mound at some point for Provo in this series, has 13 2/3 innings pitched. we got here, right as the game started. So not sure where Yingris is playing in the field today. He's going to take 2 balls to start off the at-bat.
Well, you pointed out, Tyler, where Provo has found their success against Wasatch in the past is the top of the lineup. But what really has hurt Wasatch, to get to a little bit of a Country Gardens inertia key to the game, is actually those 7, 8, 9 guys. Not that they've been deadly hitters, but with free passes. And when Wasatch has gotten into trouble, they've walked to the lower end of the lineup and then getting back to the top where the top's able to do a little bit of damage.
It's going to be a ground ball to Carter Bucad. He's going to throw it across the diamond to Cole Zimmerman. It's going to bring us to our Bank of Utah starting defensive lineup. Starting at third base today will be junior Chet Wilson. At shortstop, Carter Bucad. At second base, Jack Bluth. At first base, Cole Zimmerman, and then your outfield today, Crew Erickson in left, Peyton Swap in center, Tragun Shaw in right, and then Kelson Stocking will be behind the dish. Bank of Utah's specialty is relationships. Stop on in to Bank of Utah, one of the top performing banks in the nation. 2 outs here in the top bottom of the first inning.
Jackson Kelson, the starting pitcher here, Tyler, looking good early on, but one thing I really like that he's doing is even when there's no base runners on, he's going from the stretch. And where he's found the most success is when he has just a calm body motion, and he finds more success with that going from his stretch rather than into the full windup. And he's really taken that to heart this year. And at the beginning, you remember his first game, he would kind of go back and forth between the stretch and the windup. Now he's going primarily stretch the entire time, and he's been very successful with it.
1-1 count here to Dusher. Dusher on the season, a sophomore, 270 batting average, 10 RBIs, another strikes in there. Dusher is also on the mound, has a 1 1/3 innings pitched on the year. Might see him on the mound in this series. Only a sophomore hitting third. 1-2 pitch, going to be in the dirt for ball 2. Already a strikeout and a ground out in the inning. Wasatch went down in order in the top half of the first with a ground out and 2 flyouts. And that's kind of the story as well. It's an inviting park to try to swing for the fence, and that was something that's been reiterated numerous times in playing Provo. You got to be on a line, on the ground, make them play catch, and don't just have a bunch of flyouts here in this field that has a short porch.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect size high school field, though, don't you think? It's about 360 to center, 315 to 320 down the line, and it keeps the long ball in play, Tyler, but also is far enough that you don't have home runs just popping out at any given point.
Full count is going to go off of Dusher's back. And that's going to bring a trip. We don't see this very often. You usually see a trip to the mound, but Lance Moore, the head coach from Provo, is going to run all the way to first base to make sure his player's okay.
Well, you'll get plenty of that. He stops the game for anything he can, and it's a part of what he does, Tyler. He tries to throw off the other team by just doing goofy stuff. And we used to kind of prep our players for this game and say, just know at some point the other coach is going to try to do something that gets you mentally upset, and whether that's trying to get you called out on some kind of, going to happen multiple times in this series.
It's going to bring up the number 4 hitter, Fuller, also a sophomore, 387 batting average, a home run and 4 RBIs, hitting from the left side. But this is where Provo's dangerous. They're really good at getting a guy on base and being efficient and getting those runs in. Jackson Kels with a nice fastball on the outside part, gets it called strike, goes up 0-1 to the number 4 hitter, Fuller.
Hey, the sun's trying to come out a little bit.
Still trying.
With a little flurry of snow.
Still have a little bit of flurries. Can't feel the fingers.
It is baseball in Utah today, isn't it? I mean, this is the poster child day where it's literally snowing right now on us, but very lightly snowing. And the sun's coming out, and you feel like you could get a sunburn while it's snowing on you here.
Right here next to Utah Lake, we were pulling up, and it looked like there was a fountain coming down from the clouds. Ball stabbed at in the dirt, and so there you go. Just like that, Provo has a guy in scoring position, and it's going to be a 1-2 count for Fuller.
Well, this is how they've done it traditionally, Ty. You're right. They get a freebie that's given, maybe take another bag, and now all it takes is a seeing eye single, and just like that, you're down 1-0 at the end of the first inning. That Kelson has really thrown pretty well on the mound.
Kelson sets 1-2, takes one look at second base. Now a second look. He delivers the 1-2, fastball low and inside, moves the count to 2-2. 19th pitch of the inning for Jackson Kelson. Got the first guy out swinging, second guy on a ground out, then went full with the number 3 hitter before eventually hitting him in the back. And now 2-2. Another ball low and inside, and that's going to bring another pass ball, and that's going to move the runner to third base. So 2 outs, full count, and a runner on third for Provo. It's going to bring a trip to the mound for Kelson Stocking. Our trips to the mound today brought to you by Mirror Lake Station, voted best donuts in Utah. Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies. New owners David and Kristen Wade invite you to swing by and say hello this season at Mirror Lake Station.
You know, we talked briefly just a minute ago, Tyler, about who are these cold games hardest on, and there's a number of different reasons you can say it's at 90 miles an hour when you don't know what's getting there, but then you add an element to you're a little bit cold, you're a little bit stiff, and it hurts to get hit by that ball when it's cold outside, and it leads to a temptation to kind of stab at balls rather than get your body around it, and that's something that you just got to be disciplined to not do as a catcher.
3-2 pitch is fouled off, reset at 3-2. The payoff is going to be low and inside. So a hit by pitch and a base on balls. Has 2 base runners on for Provo. It's going to bring up the number 5 hitter. Number 1, a freshman. So sophomore, freshman at 3.45. His name is Burge. 303 batting average on the year, 2 RBIs. Has an RBI opportunity here with 2 outs.
Well, go get him, right? I mean, if you're Jackson here, you keep putting down the 1. If you're Kelson Stocking, you say, let's come after the freshmen and make them prove that they can keep up with a college-level pitcher here.
Outside with the fastball, having a hard time finding it. Might be cold on the fingers. He settled in pretty nicely in the first 2. He's had a little bit of trouble with control since. Up to 23 pitches now in the inning. Plus, you have first and third situation. That adds a couple of different thinking moments for the pitcher on the mound. 2 looks, delivers. This pitch is going to be down, but gets the called strike. That looked to be a little bit low in the zone, but he does get the called strike. Moves the count to 1-1.
Yeah, that's a good spot. If they're going to give you that one as the umpire, you want to keep working down there in the zone. That's when the pitchers like to say, hey, we work all winter for that pitch there. That's we're trying to stay down in the zone, and you get given that one. It's usually a good day for the pitcher.
Another one in the dirt. Kelton's able to keep it in front of him. Runner does not advance. Moves the count to 2-1. 2-1 count, first and third. UCCU is proudly sponsored of the spark of the game, serving Utah from Salt Lake County to Juab County. Jackson Kelson's going to come back with a strike there, so moves the count to 2-2. As we look at this series,
cold tie, you got to get your mouth going here, get yourself warmed up out in this cold weather.
As we look at this game and this series tie, what's a spark that Wasatch needs in order to come away with a win in the series?
Ty, well, you're not just hoping for a win, you're hoping for a sweep in this series. If you're Wasatch, you look at a team like Provo, they got swept in their first series. And you've got some big teams coming up next in Salem, Spanish Fork a little bit later on that are both top 10 in the RPI. And so if you want to make a move and get top 10 yourself, you want to sweep. And so where you're looking for the spark here, Tyler, is you need to be good at the bottom of the lineup. Your best hitters. So we've got a pass ball here, Ty, but got to play. Base runner slides in safe from third, coming home as that ball got to the backstop and couldn't have the play at home in time. So just like that, a freebie comes across, no hits, but 1-run tie. But to finish the thought there is your top hitters, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are hitting between 400 and 500 for Wasatch, they're just not going to get hits every at bat here in this series. And so if you're thinking sweep, you need the bottom of the lineup to produce at important moments, and that's where you're looking to have a spark here with the bottom lineup guys.
Does get a called strike on the outside corner, so 1 run comes in on no hits. 1 run, no hits, no errors. 1 is left on base as Wasatch is able to get 2 Ks in the inning, but does fall down 1-0. We'll move to the bottom of the second. You're listening to 94.5 The Peak.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and cumbersome seafood. Try fish and chips or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strong disapproval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the second brought to you by Wasatch Back Flooring. From the words of the Wasatch Back customers, from start to finish, the entire transaction was honest, professional, and meticulous. Highly recommend Wasatch Back Flooring and Paint. Thanks, Dan, and your team. As we begin the top of the second, it's time for your Pointers Tires offensive starting lineup. Already mentioned Crew Erickson, Chet Wilson, and Peyton Swap. Your 1, 2, 3 hitters. Your number 4 hitter, Cole Zimmerman. Number 5 hitter, Jack Bluth. Number 6 hitter, Jackson Bolander. 7, Kelson Stocking. Number 8 hitter, Tragun Shaw, and number 9 hitter, Carter Bucad. Cole Zimmerman currently in the box, takes strike 1, 333 batting average on the year, 10 RBIs. Has 5 of those RBIs in the last 5 games. Takes ball 1, moves the count to 1-1.
Yeah, Cole's been really good in recent days, Tyler. That Cottonwood game, he was awesome. 3 for 4, had a sacrifice bunt in there as well. And all the opposite way, stayed inside the ball and drove it the other direction. Looked really good in that Cottonwood game.
2-1 count after he takes an off-speed pitch that's down in the zone. 2-1. Swung on. It's going to go foul to the left side, brings up the count to 2-2.
We're having some fun with Cole this morning, Ty, weren't we? He was at Promenade practice that we had a chance to watch, and was struggling to learn that dance there, wasn't he?
Well, which is something that we haven't talked about. Is this was a nightmare week for coaches, this Promenade week, especially when you have a lot of juniors that are playing, and
they
mine might be elsewhere.
They're
2-2, and Cole's going to take a curveball on the outside corner. It's called a strike. First K of the game for Wasatch, but Wasatch has gone down in order, 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. But it's going to bring up the hottest hitter on the team, brought to you by a good spa day. It's going to be Jack Bluth, Ty. 714 batting average in the last 5 games. 1 home run, 9 RBIs. Now has a 424 batting average on the season and 11 RBIs total, but 9 of those RBIs coming in the last 5 games for Jack. 722 on base percentage as well. Going to take strike 1. Lamb doing a good job so far in this game of mixing up the fastball and off-speed pitches.
But getting ahead in the zone or in the count as well, Tyler. He's mixing it up, but he's staying ahead, getting strikes, which makes it so the hitter has to stay off balance. That's a pretty good spot that he didn't get on that one.
Yeah, slider there that goes down and inside, moves the count to 1-1. Wasatch still looking for their first base runner of the ball game. Went down 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first, and Cole Zimmerman strikes out to start the top of the second. Fastball gets it on the outside corner, moves the count to 2-2.
Yeah, that's a consistent call right now, so hopefully hitters are recognizing that that's something they've got to cover when they get to 2 strikes. That outer part of the zone is being called by the umpire right now. So you don't go chasing on your first strike on that one, but you do need to protect when you get deeper into the count.
2-2. Slider gets him swinging. Jack goes down swinging, so back-to-back Ks to start the top of the second. That's going to bring up Jackson Bolander. 524 batting average, 1 home run, 7 RBIs on the year. He's been really good the last 5 games as well. 667 batting average in the last 5.
I think that might be a theme, Tyler, that you talk about. He's been really good in the last 5 games. You could say that by a lot of these guys on the team. Again, they've just been hitting the ball very well. 17 hits in their last game alone.
Slider off the edge of the plate. 1-0 the count, Bubbles. Moving, this game was supposed to be played yesterday. Moved it to today due to weather. Why is that a big deal is that Bubbles closed out game 2. It's going to be a hard ground ball by Jackson. It's bobbled by the second baseman. He recovers, throws it to first base. That's going to go into the out of bounds play, so the error by the second baseman. Wasatch has their first base runner, and he's in scoring position for Jackson Kelson. Anyway, going back to my thought in that series against Maple Mountain, when you have a couple of games in between game 1 and 2, you can have Bubbles close that one and then have him start game 3. It's going to be a lot harder now to have Jackson come and close this one out and then turn around and start game 3 on Friday.
Yeah, but it is doable by playing this one if they want to go after it. If you pitch less than 35 pitches, you need a full day's rest. And so they could, in theory, not pitch him tomorrow and then come back with Jackson here on Friday if they want to. But the coaches have liked the idea of using him as the game 2 starter, so you may just see them skip that altogether on the close here, Ty. And they could go, if they wanted to a Casey Anderson to try to close it out, who would be your game 3 starter as well.
Kelson Stocking, his on the season, 300 batting average and 300 batting average with runners in scoring position. He's got an opportunity here, 3 RBIs on the season. Takes ball 1, the 1-0 pitch. And
that zone just got tight, didn't it?
It did. 2-0 count.
A couple pitches that looked pretty good.
2-0 count now to Kelson. Tragun Shaw on deck. Lamb sets on the mound, delivers. This one swung on. It's going to be another ground ball right at the second baseman, and he this time is going to field it clean, throws it to first base, and Wasatch is retired. No runs on no hits, one error by Provo in the inning, one left on base. 1-0, Provo with the lead as we move into the bottom of the second. You're listening to 94.5 The Peak.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how. Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today. And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Going into the bottom of the second, brought to you by Physical at the Fit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injury, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years. Second inning also brings you our Wasp Rewinds. We take a look at track and field is what we want to highlight today. The boys and girls track and field teams participated in the Taylorsville Invitational this past Saturday. The girls took second out of 30 teams behind Bingham. The boys took 16th out of 30 teams. Some boys, Carson Guyman took third in the long jump. Peter Muslar took sixth in the 100-meter and had a personal best of 11.36. Maddie Durant continues to look good. She took third in the long jump, first in the 100 and the 400, and took second in the 200 as well. Bailey Sweat took second in the shot put. McKenna Gallen took second in the javelin, and Kate Giles took first in the 1600-meter and third in the 800-meter at that track and field event for the boys and girls track
teams. They've got some really
teams.
good athletes that you're listing off there, Tyler. And, of course, Maddie Durant setting a school record in one of her events as well. Congrats to her. And she's so modest about it, Tyler, that she's so good. I talked to her today. Said, you set a school record, and she just kind of laughed and said, yeah, it's no big deal. You know, I thought, well, that is a big deal. When you set a school record, that deserves a little bit of praise and bragging rights.
Straight's going to bring up the leadoff hitter for Provo. He's one of the lone seniors that are on this team. Only 3 seniors listed on this Provo High team. He's only hitting 162 on the year. Does have 6 RBIs. 1-1 count to him. Another fastball. No, outside. Moves the count to 2-1. Jackson looking to work a little bit quicker here in the bottom half of the second. Already up to 31 pitches in the ball game. Sets, delivers the 2-1. Inside, 3-1.
Just a little imbalance, Tyler, is Jackson when he comes set. If you'll notice, he's actually bouncing a little bit. At least he was on that last pitch. Front leg is moving. If there was a base runner, you might be looking at a balk in that scenario. Just needs to kind of take a deep breath and calm down.
Another walk. It's going to be walk number 2 and a hit by pitch. So 3 freebies already in only 1 innings pitched. Kelton Stocking's going to come out and chat once again. It's going to bring up the number 7 hitter. Number 3,
Lamb, the pitcher. Yeah. So he can help himself out.
Yeah, junior. One thing about this Provo team, Ty, is very similar names. We've been coaching against these guys for a little while, and it's all you're always going to have. Seems like a Lamb. You're going to have a Martinez, a Frazier. Similar names.
Moore was around for a while. Still see that as the coach.
Fastball is going to get away once again from Stocking, and so another free pass from first to second base. Lamb did square to bunt on that pitch, but it wasn't even close as it bounces all the way back to the backstop.
Yeah, that's a tough one actually to even say was on Stocking, Tyler. I think that pitch really got away from Jackson, and it hit the backstop and fired back towards the pitcher's mound, kind of like a pinball bouncing around the catcher.
Some more of your Wasp Rewind. The softball team got back to their winning ways with a 7-2 victory over Ridgeline on Friday, and then they dominated Provo yesterday. Andrea Sweat had 1 home run and 4 RBIs, and Paige Armendariz had a home run and 2 RBIs against Ridgeline. I didn't check the stats on yesterday's game, but Page going into yesterday's game, 8 home runs, 32 RBIs on the year. The Wasps are now 10-4 and are number 3 in the RPI standings.
Yeah, that game yesterday, they actually only went to bat 2 innings. After the third, they were to the mercy rule, leading by 17 runs, and that was that. A lot of hits in that game, Tyler, for the Wasps in only 2 innings. Softball team has been good this year.
It was funny. I have a couple of softball players in my class today, and they said it was humbling. And I said, well, it was humbling. You're the one who won big. Another called strike here, moves the count to 2-2, and I said, you guys were the ones that were up big. And she said, I know, but when they made any play, they were so thrilled. And it was just, I take this game so much for granted, that these things are easy, and you just appreciate it a little bit more, fielding a ground ball and throwing to first base. And I said, man, you're a great person. That's what you were thinking after that game. 2 strikes now here to Lamb. Jackson Kelson sets, delivers. It's going to be a foul ball down the left field side as Chet's going to field it foul before it comes back in fair, and we'll reset. 1-2 or 2-2 count?
1-2 right now. And that's a good heads-up play from Chet to crash in on that ball, Tyler. They'd been trying to bunt with Lamb earlier, and he didn't get the job done, but that would have been exactly what they wanted on the swinging bunt. Chet was crashing in to try to get it foul, so they couldn't get a cheap base hit off of the slow roller down the third base side. And it was starting to crash back towards the line.
Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. The 1-2 pitch swung on. It's up in the zone. It's going to be a Chet. Chet's going to look back. The guy at second. Fires to third. Great play there from Chet Wilson. Keeps the runner at second and gets the runner at first. First out of the second inning. He's been good at third. He struggled a little bit down in St. George, but really since St. George, he has been a black hole over there at third base.
That is such a good play, Tyler, in the fact that he knew his timing as well. He cut him out, but he forced him to get his momentum moving back, and then swung his legs around and fired a dart over there and still got the batter by a couple steps, Tyler. And again, that's just, he's starting to get more comfortable with his experience and the timing over there. And again, he's been the best bat in the lineup. He's been floating around 500 all year long.
He's going to bring up Frazier. He's going to square to him on the mound, has 15 innings pitched on the year. 1-1 count now.
Yeah, they used him a lot on the mound last year as well, Tyler, and he was a guy that didn't have great stuff, but he was effective when he went out there, and the team kind of rallied behind him every time he got on the mound. And yeah, I would be surprised if we don't see him at some point in this series.
Pretty sure, if I remember right, Peyton Swap would like to see a Colton Frazier pitch sooner or later in this series.
Yeah, that game was one of those games where the hitters just liked everything they saw. I think it wasn't 15-13 or
16-14.
16-14.
Yeah.
It was such a happen to get a full game out of Jackson, if not at least 5 innings. And at this rate, you're not going to get there.
Full count, fastballs, goes down looking. That's the third physical at the pit stop strikeout of the game for Jackson Kelson. And that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, and he's wearing number 9, Anderton, a senior. So all 3 seniors, they have 4 seniors that are listed. 3 of the 4 are in the lineup today. .259 batting average for Anderton. No extra base hits, but does have 6 RBIs, and he has an RBI opportunity here with 2 outs. He's actually going to square to bunt. Runner at second gets a little bit far off. Kelson tries to get him at second, not in time. 1 ball, and we'll reset with the runner on second base.
Well, that's one of those where, you're either trying to sneak a base hit, but when he squared that early, that almost was a bluff, Tyler. And you're just trying to cause a little chaos, maybe move the defense around a little bit. And you got to be careful if you're Wasatch and not play into their hands and throw a ball into the outfield, maybe let them get another cheap one, advancing to third.
Comes back with the fastball for a strike, 1-1 count. So after a leadoff walk, ground out to Chet at third, and then a strikeout. Now he's 1-1 to the number 9 hitter. Jackson, 2 looks, delivers the 1-1. Another strike, moves the count to 1-2.
Ty, he's almost better when he gets base runners, though, because it forces him to slow down a little bit. He's got the picks and looks that Jackson's working on with the infielders, and he has to take a few more deep breaths, gets a little bit more balanced, and can be a little more consistent.
1-2. It's going to be a ground ball to Cole. Cole's going to field it. It's a race to first. Jackson Kelson can't field it. Can't catch it, and the runner's going to go from second all the way to home. Jackson Kelson's going to throw the ball away, and the runner will advance to second. So an error by Jackson Kelson, and he tried to catch it before, or he tried to look down at the base before he had the ball in his glove. And that's what Provo does, Ty. They get a runner on, and they figure out a way to score them, and Wasatch is now down 2-0.
Well, Ty, there's so much about that you can analyze here. Wasatch just needs to make that play. That's as simple as it is. That's just a nice, easy underhand toss that Jackson needs to make. But there's even a second part of that's a ball Jack Bluth is actually in position on, and if there's communication, he could call off Cole if he wants to, and then the first baseman goes back and retreats, and it's a little bit more consistent on how you're fielding it.
It's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, Martinez. He's going to swing at the first pitch. Going to be a ground ball to Carter Bucad. Bucad fields it, throws it over to first, and Provo is retired, but not before they score 1 run on no hits. 1 error by Wasatch in the inning, and Provo leaves a 1 on base. It's 2-0 Provo as we go into the top of the third here at Provo High School.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
You might be used to having someone ask you the questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Those. Tragun Shaw is going to be ahead of that curveball. He's going to get, Lamb's going to get him to roll over, ground ball to first base. First baseman fields it, touches the bag, and Tragun Shaw is retired. First baseman is Straight, one of the seniors that are on the team. Tragun got fooled. It was a 2-0 curveball. Usually you're looking fastball there. Just got fooled a little bit and rolled over. It's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Carter Bucad. 235 batting average, but he has 333 in his last 5 games, including a 474 on base percentage. He's going to take a fastball low, 1-0. Carter already with 2 fielding assists in the game. He's been really consistent at that shortstop spot for Wasatch, only a sophomore. Takes a curveball for a strike there, 1-1. This is what Provo's pitching staff is usually able to do, is throw 2 pitches for strikes and just keeps teams off balance just enough. And Lamb's done that so far in today's game. So curveballs and fastball counts, and fastball and curveball counts. 1-1, again, another off speed. That one's low in the zone, so it brings the count to 2-1. Chandler Stocking, a 2019 grad who began his career at Southwest Oregon Community College, is now playing it down at Alabama A&M. Bulldogs having a little bit of a rough year, only 5-21 on the year. But Chandler has started every game for them, playing shortstops, posted a .952 fielding percentage on the year, playing short. Carter Bucad's going to swing at the 2-1, over the top of it, moves the count to 2-2. Wasatch needs that UCCU spark right now, down 2-0 in the top of the third.
They definitely could use something right now, and Carter's been able to provide it in a couple games, so you can get something going 2 strikes.
Curveball nearly swings over the top of it that time, but he is going to get a piece of it, and he'll survive, and he'll reset at 2-2.
Pretty good pitch there, Tyler. That was a good breaking pitch. Bit hard at the end. Carter was fortunate to grab a piece of that on its way by.
Yeah, looks like he's throwing 3 pitches, Ty. I think he's got a fastball, slider, and a curveball. Comes with the fastball up in the zone. Carter does a good job of surviving, and we'll reset at 2-2.
Yeah, I used to love that, Tyler. Fastball, curveball, slider combo. When you could throw that. Zach Webster especially was really good for Wasatch because it's just such a different look when you get a 12-6 curve as opposed to a slider coming across. Hitters often can't identify those, and it's easy to get a put-out pitch on that when you bring a curveball and they're thinking slider or vice versa.
Tries an off-speed in the dirt, too far in the dirt. It's going to bring the count to full. Martina does a good job of keeping it in front of him. Bucad looking to become only the second base runner for Wasatch. Only 1 base runner in the game so far for Wasatch. It was Jackson Bonder, who reached on an error by the second baseman. But Bucad's going to go down. 3-2 pitch is once again swung on and missed. That's now 3 Ks in the game for Wasatch. As we go back up to the top of the order, Crew Erickson started off the game with the ground out to the second baseman. 405 batting average on the year for Crew. 10 RBIs. Has been really good for Wasatch and has been consistent. We'll see if Wasatch can get something going here with 2 outs. Lamb sets, delivers. It's going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Jackson College, a 2021 grad, has appeared in 22 games for Barstow Community College. The Vikings also struggling a little bit, only 4-26 on the year. Jackson has 1 double and 3 RBIs in his plate appearances. Playing some catcher and third base. Fastball, a little bit ahead of the fastball, moves the count to 1-1 as he'll foul that off to the backstop. Wasatch wearing their all-black uniforms today. Provo in all whites with green hat. Lamb sets, delivers the 1-1. It's going to be in the dirt. Ball 2. After that good curveball to Carter that he fouled off, he's had a hard time landing the curveball. He can, a little bit of fatigue setting in. Possibly Wasatch can start sitting fastball if he can't land the curveball for a strike. 2-1 pitch. It is a fastball, and again, Crew underneath it. He's going to elevate it and foul that one behind the backstop. Moves the count to 2-2. Crew on the year, 2 doubles and 2 triples. Started off the game against Cottonwood with a double. Had himself a day at the plate. I believe 4 for 4 in that game. 2-2. Fastball way outside. We'll get reset at 3-2. So full count, 2 outs. 46 pitches now for Lamb. He's been efficient. Around that 15 pitch per inning. We'll see if Wasatch can extend this one. Full count, 2 outs. Top of the third. Crew sets. We're in the number 14. Curveball. It is going to be swung on up the middle. Shortstop does a good job. Fields it, but not in time. Give him the infield single. Good job there from Crew of using his speed. Good play there from number 2, Gingras with junior. But Crew Erickson's speed not in time as Crew once again with another single.
Yeah, that was a great play, Tyler, from the shortstop. Really thought that ball was getting through, but he showed some good range to the glove side. But you just don't have a chance on that ball to get Crew Erickson out. He's got a lot of speed getting down the line, and he was across the bag before the ball even got there.
Let's see what Chet can do here with a runner on. Good speed, great speed from Crew over at first base. Had a couple of stolen bases as well in that Cottonwood game. First pitch of the at-bat's going to be check swinged. He does get called a strike, but the ball gets away from Martinez, and Crew will advance to second base. So RBI opportunity now for Chet Wilson. He's been good in these situations, Ty. 619 batting average, or excuse me, 619 on base in the last 5 games, but does have 12 RBIs on the year. Swung on, it's going to be the swinging bunt right back to the pitcher. Lamb's going to field it, throw it to first, and they are out of the inning. So another scoreless inning for the Wasps. They do threaten and do get their first hit of the game at the hand of Crew Erickson, but it's no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We move into the bottom of the third. Wasatch down 2-0. You're listening to 94.5 The Peak.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring, and if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Gravity Coalition offering the best in bike, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition in Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. Wasatch down 2-0 as we go into the bottom of the third inning. Wasatch giving up 1 run apiece in both the first and the second inning. But still a no-hitter going for Jackson Kelson. Hasn't given up a hit in the game, but walks and errors have doomed Wasatch so far, and then Lamb's done a good job for Provo on the mound of keeping Wasatch off balance. Nick Greenhot, a 2019 grad, continues his hot streak at Vassar Community College after hitting 2 home runs in his game on Tuesday. He followed it up with a 2-for-3 game on Saturday. One of those hits a double, the other another home run. 3 RBIs in the game. He is now hitting .324 on the year, 3 home runs and 8 RBIs, and the win moved Vassar to 9-12 on the year. Leadoff hitter for Provo is Gingras, shortstop, junior. Grounded out of the shortstop in his first at bat, .238 batting average coming into the game. He'll take ball 1. Another ball down in the count, moves the count to 2-0. 4 freebies have been the story in the game. 3 walks, 1 error for Wasatch in the game have resulted in 2 runs scored. A late timeout call by the hitter. Jackson, I thought, was already in the windup, but the umpire awards it. So we'll reset at 2-0. Snow has stopped. Still cloudy and cold. Fastball too far inside. Moves the count to 3-0. Little shake of the head from Jackson Kelson. He's had a hard time with the leadoff guy. Gave up a walk in his last inning in the leadoff guy. Greengrass is going to set. Does take a strike there. Moves the count to 3-1. 52 pitches now for Jackson Kelson. Does have 3 Ks on the day. 2 looking. 3-1. Up in the zone. No, call it a ball. That looked like it was at the belt, but another base on balls. The 4th walk of the game for Kelson. He's going to bring up the number 3 hitter, Ducher, a sophomore, 3rd baseman. 10 RBIs on the year. He got hit by pitch in his first at bat. Ended up scoring thanks to some wild pitches. Ended up scoring on a pass ball with guy when he was on 3rd base. So nobody out. Runner on first for Provo. Same situation we had to start off the 2nd inning. Jackson, 1 look, delivers high again. Moves count to 1-0. Boys lacrosse team is now 2-5 after losing to East on Friday, 12-10. They travel to Waterford, I believe today. They were supposed to do that yesterday. Currently number 20 in the RPI standings. The girls lacrosse team is playing at home today against Cedar Valley High School. Wild pitch again, and another advancement of the bases. Jackson throwing a little bit more emotion with frustration here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Down 2-0 on the scoreboard and on the count. 2-0 the count to Ducher. And a runner on 2nd base. 10 RBIs, another RBI opportunity here. Way outside, moves the count to 3-0. Can't see the bullpen, but it is going to earn a trip to the mound from JW. This trip to the mound brought to you by, again, Mirror Lake Station, voted best donuts in Utah. The Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies. Legendary owners David and Kristen Wade invite you to swing by and say hello this season. Mirror Lake Station in Camas. Seems like a game where maybe you might need a hot dog, Ty.
Yeah,
you need to buy a hot dog,
maybe
hot
go along
chocolate.
with it. Yeah, you're spot on, Ty. That'd be the way to go. Can you make that happen?
Might be able to for myself.
Yes.
This day in Wasatch history, Ty Moss here doesn't realize I'm going to do this. This day 16 years ago, the Wasatch baseball team traveled down to Las Vegas for the Bishop Gorman Desert Classic. In the first game of the tournament, your very own Tyler Moss hit a home run over the left field fence, leading Wasatch to an opening victory in the tournament. Brendan Hallows started the game on the mound for the Wasps. That year, the Wasps ended 16-9, were region champs, and ended up finishing 3rd in the state tournament.
No kidding. That was this day,
That was this day. Not sure what happened there.
Pass ball,
but
nobody advanced.
Not sure what happened there.
Well, there was three balls already, so Lance wants an explanation as well. So it's a called strike.
Called that a strike. They got by Kelson. That's interesting. So full count, nobody out. Not sure on that one. There's been better pitches than that called strike today. Full count now, nobody out. Ducher sets. Pitch is in there. That one's low, so he does end up earning the walk, but the runner does. Kelton sets and takes a strike. Wasatch did that break on a called bunt again, but does get a called strike. Another bunt coverage signal.
Ty, you know, in your time coaching, you know, you coached for nearly a decade Wasatch baseball here. In these kinds of games, when you're feeling a little bit down and you need a little bit of a spark, where would you turn? Where would you go to try to get a spark for your team?
A couple of thoughts. So interesting that ball's going to get away from Kelson. Chet broke in to come in, but by doing that, nobody was covering third base, and so a double steal moves runners to second and third with nobody out in a 1-1 count. As Provo has had really an easy way of just advancing on the base pass here, thanks to wild pitches and a little bit of miscommunication. It depends on the game, Ty, but in a game like this, you're looking, in my opinion, you look for a call that might be a little controversial, and you go out and throw a tantrum, maybe get the guys going. Base knock, it's going to be the first hit of the game. It's going to bring in another run. That's going to move the count to 3-0. Base knock to the left field side. First hit of the ball game for Provo. Still nobody out, runners on first and third, and that's going to bring a trip to the mound from Coach Jacobson, and this might be it for Jackson Kelson. Be a quick outing for Kelson, 61 pitches. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have a pitching change. Gage Sheesh coming on the mound for the Wasps.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hurst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Flooring and Paints.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strongest approval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
5, 4, 3, 2.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Well, pitching change for Wasatch. Gage Sheesh on the mound for Jackson Kelson. Bottom of the third inning, brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. That's Gravity Coalition in Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. Wasatch down 3-0 right now. Nobody out. Runners on third and first for Provo, who is threatening to push across more.
Yeah, tough outing for Jackson Kelson. It'll go into the books as 2 innings pitched, 5 walks. Only 1 hit, but gave up 3 runs. On the mound now for Wasatch will be Gage Sheesh. Looked good in his last outing against Cottonwood. Comes into the game with 6 innings pitched on the year, an 8.17 ERA, 6 Ks, 7 RBIs. Comes with a strike to #1, Burge, only a freshman. Pitches in there, off the edge of the plate, moves the count to 1-1.
Well, this Provo team's not been overwhelming by any stretch. That 3-0 score is not by their doing here, Tyler. But they're doing it exactly how we've said this Provo team does. They just scrap runs across in what I would call an ugly baseball game. 1 hit, 3 runs, 5 walks. That's how Provo's gotten here. They've taken advantage of a couple errors as well.
Another curveball. This one's going to be low and outside. Kelson Stein has to go to his knees to block that one. Does keep both base runners at first and third. So 2-1 count. 3-0 lead for Provo here in the bottom of the third. Nobody out still.
So that history you brought up, that tournament where Wasatch, we got to go play at Bishop Gorman, was a pretty cool experience. There was a team from Utah yesterday that was down playing at Bishop Gorman, Tyler, and as I was going through the scores, and I am completely blanking on the name right now as to who that was, but it's a pretty cool experience to go down and play against some of those best teams, and Wasatch did, in fact, face off against Bishop Gorman in that series as well. In what was another pretty good game. A lot of scouts there. In fact, all 9 players on that Bishop Gorman team got drafted that year.
2-2 count. It's going to be fouled off at Cole Zimmerman. He's going to field it and touch first base, but it was foul, so we'll reset at a 2-2 count.
Well, and Provo showed their hand a little bit on that one. They were breaking on contact. Cole was in on the grass, and so if you're on the corners, you expect to play the plate on a ball that's coming at you. Provo was moving on that ball.
Burge again, only a freshman. Coach Lance Moore going young this year. Only 4 seniors on the roster, 3 in the starting lineup. Runner goes. It's going to be swung on, a hit and run. Cole's going to get it. He's going to throw it home. The throw's not in time.
Got him.
No, safe at home. First and second, still nobody out. Cole came up firing. The ball bounced, and I think the bounce just caused it to slow down just enough as Provo is safe at home. 2 runs now scored here in the bottom of the third. 4-0 the score. Still nobody out.
That's too bad. That was a heck of a play from Kelson, Tyler. He became an infielder to scoop the short hop and put the tag on quickly. Probably was the right call. Kelson got him on the backside, and the upper body was coming across home plate, and that's kind of what you look for as an umpire. But it was a good attempt, good play at it, but it was just better execution on Provo. They, like we talked about the pitch before, they broke on contact, and it was just enough to get them a run.
Still nobody out. First and second. Going to be a play to try to get the pick off there. Chet broke coming home. Carter went to third. They tried to pick him off at second. Not in time. And now we'll reset. Nobody out. 0-0 count. Stocking will re-signal in the bunt coverage. Number 26, Straight, the first baseman, a senior. Did square to bunt in his first at-bat. Ended up walking to start the second inning.
And never saw a strike in his first at-bat. Ty, you said when we were away at the break, what is it about Provo that brings these ugly games here? And it is consistent. Wasatch has struggled at Provo High School for some reason to play clean baseball, is what I would say. It's just they make errors. They've walked a lot of guys down here. It's just been kind of their kryptonite here. But don't count the bats out either. That game, again, last year down here at Provo, they ended up putting a lot of runs on the board and rallied in late. So a 4-0 deficit is nothing for this offense to come back on that's averaging over 10 runs per game over the last 5.
Pitch in there for a strike, moves the count to 1-1. More signals from Kelson Stocking on bunt coverage. We'll see what Coach Moore decides to do as well offensively. One of the big wins here at Provo High came in 2019. Wasatch played in a play-in game to get into the state tournament. Aiden McGoffin threw a complete game gem.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Aiden on that one. Went the distance, 7 innings, 1 run. The winning run came by a Brock Cloward home run over that Raising Cane's sign out there in left field. It wasn't there at the time.
No,
Raising Cane's wasn't there, but.
Speaking of that game, you talk about kind of providing a spark. Wasatch's bats weren't existent in that game as well, and there was a play at the plate that Wasatch, well, we're going to have a swing and a miss, or a swing and another single, double, or a guy at second base is going to try to score from second, does so. Ball's cut off. Cole Zimmerman's going to try to get the runner at third, and they do call him out at third. I think Chet missed the tag, but they do call him out at third, and so that's going to be the first out of the inning, but another run comes in to score on the single from Straight, and Wasatch now finds themselves down 5-0.
Yeah, Burge getting a little greedy, and you commit the Cardinal sin, making the first or third out at third base. And I was a little surprised that Coach Moore didn't want to talk about that. I thought Chet got him a little high and back again. The umpire did give the out, but Coach Moore let it go and has no complaints on that. And so Provo will get the first out, and Wasatch will kind of put a Band-Aid on the bleeding at the moment.
To Lance's credit, I think one thing that Lance does a good job of is he understands the flow of the game. And right now you've got all the momentum if you're Provo. You got a lot of positive happening. If you take time to go and talk about that call, that puts some negative right onto the game that's happening right now. You lick your wound on that one and move on. 5-0. Gage does get ahead 0-1 to Lamb, the starting pitcher for Provo.
Well, and Ty, you're right. Coach Moore is doing a lot of things really impressive in this inning. He's stealing runs away from Wasatch by just good coaching decisions. That break on the ball on the infield there, trying to put guys in motion, move the defense around, being extra aggressive to get guys in. He's doing a nice job in this inning, managing his team with, frankly, not as good bats up. He's getting the runs with the bottom of his team here. And Wasatch is going to have to get some work cut up.
Bad move there from the base runners. That ball bounced in front of the plate and ended up hitting the umpire. That's what kept that thing in play, or decent, not going back to the backstop. The runner does not advance at first base. Moves the count to 2-1.
Yeah, he's been hit twice already from balls that have gotten away from the Wasatch catchers. Ty, I want to go back to the history of last year. This Wasatch-Provo game down here was a 16-14 matchup. But Wasatch got down big like this early. They actually were down 11-1 after 2 innings of play, and then they rallied back. They ended up scoring 4 in the third, got 6 in the last inning to make it a game. And so this team, they've got a resilient tendency about them down here, but you just don't want to have to fight from behind to come back in these games if you can avoid it.
2-2 as the pitch is swung on and fouled back to the backstop. Good swing from Lamb, good smooth swing. Grounded out to the third baseman in his last at bat. Ooh, nice curveball there, freezes him, and that's going to be the first strikeout of the game for Gage Sheesh. Physical at the Fit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years. Going to bring up the number 8 hitter, Frazier. He is well struck out looking in his first at bat. Only a 182 hitter coming into today's game. 2 outs now for Wasatch here in the bottom of the third.
Boy, that's a really good curveball from Gage, Tyler. It just bites so hard that it can freeze the hitter. But it is one that I would categorize as well that you don't want to show 2 times in a row if you can avoid it. I think it's one that because it's got so much of a loop and a break on it, that if you see that 2 times in a row, it is a little bit easier to hit. And so that's when you want to mix up pitches and eye levels and kind of move the hitters around in order for that pitch to be effective.
Gage sets, delivers, gets a fastball in the bottom part of the zone, moves the count to 1-1. Frazier didn't swing a lot at his first at bat, takes a strike there. Lance signals over to first base. Not a lot of speed from straight over at first base. We'll see if they decide to run it all. Gage sets, one look, a long look. Delivers, no runner. That ball, I think that one was closer than it looked. 2-1 now the count.
Yeah, Kelson was kind of moving into a throwing position. Kelson stocking, that is, back here at catcher, and his feet were swinging around, and so the glove, it looked a lot worse receiving it. The glove was reaching over to the outer half of the plate where that pitch was as he was trying to square up his body to throw. Didn't get the benefit from the umpire.
3-1 count as the fastball misses on the outside. See if Lance decides to do a hit-and-run situation here. It's a hit-and-run, but the hitter has the go-ahead to take if it's a ball. Runner does not go. It's swung on. It's going to be a pop-up into the infield. This one's high. Cole Zimmerman's going to come in, call off Gage. And Wasatch gets out of the inning, but not before 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors for Wasatch. 1 runner left on base. It's a 5-0 ball game as we move in to the top of the 4th.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City. Stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how. Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the fourth action brought to you by Wasatch Behavior Health. Founded in 1967 to provide quality mental health care for all individuals within Utah and Wasatch counties, Wasatch Behavior Health is a comprehensive community behavioral health center. We offer any array of programs and services for children, teens, and adults. Payne Swap will lead off the top of the fourth, flew out to right field on a good swing in his first at bat. Wasatch only one hit through 3 innings. Curveball is going to be low and outside. Payton's had a fun day at the plate here at Provo last year. Hit a home run, had a triple and a double in the series. And had a good swing in his first at bat, drove the right fielder back to the warning track. Gets a curveball this time, ropes it at the shortstop, but right at the shortstop. Another good barrel, but it's 0 for 2 for Swab as he lines out of the shortstop. Tough break there for the Wasps.
That was a good job from the shortstop, seeing that ball all the way in, Tyler. That one kind of had the hooking away, pull swing on it, meaning he was trying to kind of tuck under where the shortstop's glove was, but he did a good job getting low and following that ball all the way into the glove.
Cole Zimmerman's going to come up. He struck out looking in his first at bat. He's going to swing at the first pitch. It's going to be a line drive base knock over the third baseman's head, so a single for Cole. Wasatch, I felt Wasatch's approach has been good. It's not like they've been popping out. They've had some ground outs to the second baseman. They've been trying to go the opposite way with it. I think Wasatch maybe the second time through starting to time up Lamb a little bit more.
And that line you just said I think is the key. The second time through, this team it's going to be tough to fool them a second time through with this type of velocity. It's very low velocity from Lamb on the mound. He does mix up pitches well, but he doesn't have enough to make you guess and have to take an early commit. And so Wasatch is going to be a little more effective the second and third time through if they get a chance to see Lamb.
Fastball, Cole Zimmerman thinks about it. It's a delayed still, but he's going to be thrown out badly. I think he thought that ball was going to get away from the catcher. Instead, he gets thrown out at second base. Tough break for the Wasps, and just like that, they're back to 2 outs and nobody on base. Weird play there. Reset with 2 outs.
It's the MO. This team wants to be aggressive, and we've talked about it in the past, Tyler, but that one came back to get them. And it's a tough spot because you don't want to be giving away outs when you're chasing from behind. You're down 5-0, and you want to kind of protect those outs and keep the pressure on the the defense out there and make them make plays. Because as I was pointing out, this team should be able to get to Lamb here, and what that requires is then a solid defense to just make plays behind you. And Provo's been a little bit spotty when Wasatch has been in place. Second base has been a little questionable there, catching balls and throwing them over to first base. And you just haven't pushed and challenged them too much outside of that.
Pitch swung on and fouled back to the backstop, brings the count to 2-1. Curveball, it's swung on by Jack Bluth. Lazy ground ball to the shortstop, but he can't handle it. And just like that, Wasatch has a guy on with 2 outs. Give the air to the shortstop. It would have been a tough play with Jack's speed from the left side going down that base path. But instead of runners on first and second with 1 out, Wasatch only with a runner on first with 2 outs.
Yeah, that's a good example of what we were talking about here, Tyler. This Provo team's young, and you keep a little pressure on them, and they just may not make as many plays out in the field, especially with the speed Wasatch has getting down the line.
Going to bring up Jackson Bollender. Had a good barrel to the second baseman his first at bat. Got on by an error. He's going to take a curveball. That ball's down in the zone. Jack Bluth's going to get picked off at first base. So Wasatch has benefited from being aggressive in these previous 5 games that they've had on this win streak. But this inning, not so, as Jack Bluth is going to be thrown out at first base. So despite 2 base runners, Wasatch runs themselves off the base pass. And to end the 4th inning, Wasatch still down 5-0. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error by Provo. Nobody left on base. You're listening to 94.5 The Peak.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
You're listening to Wasatch High School Baseball, bottom of the fourth inning, brought to you by Dorius Dental. Dorius Dental offers no surprises of dental treatment with doctors Dorius and Proctor. Let Dorius Dental make your mouth smile. For more information, visit DoriusDental.com. Wasatch down 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Have really struggled to throw strikes from the pitcher's mound. In fact, Provo had 2 runs across the board before they ever had a hit in this game. Was able to push across a few more on a couple hits last inning. But Wasatch has mostly helped the Bulldogs get out to the lead by giving them free passes.
Gage Sheesh on the mound right now for the Wasps. He pitched the 3rd inning after Jackson Kelson struggled in that 3rd inning. It's going to be a drag bunt attempt here from Anderton, but it's going to go foul, so 1 strike, no balls. 4th inning brings you what's on your mind, Ty, and so I've got a question for you. If you had a perfect game, here's my poll question. Strike is in there. Oh, yeah, that's a strike. You don't have to check that one. 2 strikes now on Anderton. If you had a perfect game going into the 8th inning and you were guaranteed a World Series if you came out or a chance to go for a perfect game, which would you choose?
I'd probably take the World Series.
Even if you already had a World Series, right?
I think so, yeah.
2 World Series is over. There's only been 24 perfect games thrown in the major leagues. 24. There's been a lot more World Series champs than 24.
This is a very interesting philosophical question that you're posing here, Tyler, because really it's, are you for team or are you for me? Are you for me in the record books or are you for team?
I didn't say you weren't going to win a World Series if you stayed on the mound. Just you're guaranteed a World Series or a chance to go for a perfect game.
I think you go the team route, right? The more titles you can put together, the
I bring it up because today Clayton Kershaw had a perfect game going into the 8th inning, and they decided to pull him out. Only had 80 pitches thrown, 13 Ks, and Dave Roberts has promised that the Dodgers are going to win a World Series this year, and so that's why I bring out that philosophical question.
Well, you would go with the perfect game, it seems like, huh?
24 total, Ty, in all of the major leagues. Period.
Well, it should be 25 if you remember. You know.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Fiasco that happened a few years ago where he blew the last out.
That's right. That's right.
But Ty, you know, here's the true answer of what's on my mind. In that scenario, how about we just end up throwing a full game, old school? You know, Nolan Ryan didn't seem to have a problem throwing 130 pitches, and he did okay for himself for a full career. Sandy Koufax, these type of guys that used to just
how about this?
Throw with rubber arms.
How about this?
We're so delicate now.
I know. If you pull Kershaw out in that game, and he does something to his arm and doesn't pitch in the playoffs, whoever the manager is gets fired, right? Because you're pulling him out because you want him in the postseason, right? And it's all about pitch counts. And so if he doesn't pitch in the postseason, you're canned. Number 9 hitter Anderton flies out to right field on a full count pitch. It's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, number 34, the catcher Martinez. Has a strikeout and a ground out to the shortstop. After taking 2 balls, he now swings at 2, moves the count to 2-2. That one fouled off. And so a 2-2 count now here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Wasatch down 5-0. Only 2 hits on the day for Wasatch. Haven't been able to push any runs across the board. Off-speed pitch down in the zone, another full count. Second full count batter for Gage here in the bottom of the 4th.
Martinez is a good high school player here, Tyler, but like good high school players, he wants to get the bat extended out over the zone. And, again, I feel like you can just be effective with him getting inside. He wants to pull it and hit it to the left side, but he wants to do so by getting the barrel out extended, so middle and maybe even a little bit middle away. And you can see that when he's pulling his body off a little bit, that's where he's trying to go. And so, again, effective on him is to try to get on the inner half. Wasatch just couldn't locate there. Ball 4 is going to give him a free pass.
Second Martinez that's come through. Older brother was a senior last year. And so I'll pose the question, Ty, which was the more dangerous hitter last year? Both of them arguably the 2 best hitters last year for Provo. Would you rather face younger brother or older brother last year?
I would have rather had older brother, or younger brother, excuse me. I think that older brother was pretty complete. He could hit with power, gap to gap. And we saw that up close and personal a couple times.
Base on balls on ball 4 is going to bring up the number 3 hitter, Ducher, a sophomore. Hit by pitch and a walk. Hasn't seen a lot of strikes in today's game.
I'm not so sure by the time their careers are over, though, Tyler, that you'll be saying that.
I apologize. This is Gingras that's up. I got ahead of myself.
And that younger Martinez, he's a pretty nice player and coming along nicely for only being a junior. He's pretty effective for Provo. And you can see why Coach Moore has him at the top of the lineup. He wants to get him in the box as many times as possible. Even though he's probably their best power hitter, he wants him to bat as many times as possible, so he takes that leadoff spot.
Gingras, the shortstop, junior, grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat, walked in his second at-bat. going to take a strike, moves the count to 1-2. Speed up runner over at first base, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Luke.
Luke.
Number 2?
Number 7.
Number 7. Catcher is Martinez, so he's not going to run. One out here in the bottom of the 4th. The runner goes, swung on, it's going to be a pop fly. Kelson should be able to catch this one, has a chance to double up at first base, catches it, throws it to first, and Wasatch has their first double play of the game. That double play brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition, Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. That could be the spark that Wasatch needs as they get out of the bottom of the 4th. No runs on no hits, no errors, no runners left on base, 5-0. You're listening to 94.5 The Peak.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, NMLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. NMLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the 5th action brought to you by Guild Mortgage. I don't know if you saw that interest rates went up a little bit this week, and it is so just a weird time when it comes to buying homes, especially in the Heber Valley. If you have any questions, stop on in. Tom Stone will let you know what your best option is. He won't pressure you into making a decision. He'll simply educate you on what the best option is for your situation. Stop on into Tom Stone and Guild Mortgage.
One thing I love the most about Tom and Guild Mortgage, Tyler, is he's a local guy. And so he's not in it just for a money grab on you. He cares about the community. He takes care of the community. And he'll take care of you. It's important to him and the community.
I get a Quenchit card every birthday, and my wife gets a Quenchit card. She's not a Quenchit fan, and so I get 2 birthday Quenchits during the year.
Why is your wife not a Quenchit fan, Tyler? That's where we need to start here with this conversation.
She's healthy, that's why.
Hey, they got delicious waters over there.
Ball 1 to Jackson Bolander. He reached on an error in his first at bat, but it's just crazy tight. Top of the 5th. This is only the 2nd at bat for Jackson Bolander. Fastball inside for ball 2.
Only 2 hits for Wasatch on the game, Tyler, and Crew Erickson has 1, Cole Zimmerman has 1, and that's it.
So here's another poll question for you, Ty. They started playing Sweet Caroline, right? So you have the Boston, right? That's their go-to in the 7th, and then you have just your regular Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You had America the Beautiful, right? Then they start playing that a little bit in 2011. Or no song. Like, what would be your preference in the 7th inning stretch? Are you a traditional Take Me Out to the Ball Game? Do you like Sweet Caroline?
Oh, Ty, Sweet Caroline. This is gonna upset some people. Definitely the most overplayed sports song. Not a huge fan.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's not bad, but man, it is overplayed at so many sporting events. So no, I don't care so much for that, Tyler. I like when they get something that's a little bit catchy and recent that's going on. I can't name any specifically for you because it seems to make the story a little bit more fun. There was when these MLB players will play songs that their kids are watching, like you may have some this year that will have an Encanto song, we don't talk about Bruno, and that usually gets some stuff that's a little bit more fun. But I'll tell you that the most entertaining song I ever heard was when the Braves were playing at Coors Field, and I went out and watched them, Ty, as we get ball 4, and Bolander is going to be a leadoff base runner for Wasatch, and that could be a good spark for him there. But the pitcher, they were coming to take him out. And I don't know who sings this song. It's a little bit before my time, a lot of it before my time, but it's called They're Coming to Take Me Away. This guy talking about how they're coming to take him to a mental asylum.
That's funny.
And Coors played that, for their opposing teams. When they were coming to take him out of the ball game, they played this You're Coming to Take Me Away song. And that one I thought was well-timed and played there to get in the pitcher's head.
I like to Take Me Out of the Ball Game, the old, and especially when you got a guy like Harry Carey. If you remember back in the day, Frank Layden would come to the Bees or the Buzz at the time, and he'd do the Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 7th inning stretch. When you have a guy like Harry Carey or Frank Layden to do that, I think that's good. Kelson Stockton's going to take a curveball in there for strike 1. You're going to see a lot more curveballs now from Lamb, but he's still been able to keep Wasatch at bay. Another strike call. Leadoff guy on is Jackson Bolander. He's reached twice today. He reached on an error by the second baseman and now reaches by way of walk. Curveball down, moves the count to 1-2.
Ty, he's late. He's late watching though on Kelson on that. Even if he wanted to offer that, his hands weren't going at the right time. He needs to get set a little bit earlier if he wants to have a chance to be on time here.
Bollinger, decent lead over first base. Lamb taking his time, getting the pitch call. Gets it, delivers. Low and inside, 2-2. Tragun Shaw on deck for the Wasps. Had a ground out of the first baseman in his first at bat. 67 pitches now for Lamb in the ball game. Provo pitcher's been efficient so far today.
He's been good, Tyler. He is not overpowering, but he's been good at mixing it up. Well,
2-2 fastball. I think it fooled Kelson a little bit, but it's off the plate. So we have a full count, nobody out. Here, already a one walk in the inning to lead off the inning. See if Wasatch can climb back into this thing. Down 5-0. Pickoff move over to Bubbles. He'll get there in time. Casey Anderson trying to provide a little bit of a boost from the dugout side.
Yeah, we ought to get him a headset at some point, Tyler. He's a blast to talk to.
Fastball inside, swung on, fouled off down the third baseline. We'll reset at full count.
Good battle here from Kelson. He's getting that pitch count up a little bit, seeing a lot of pitches. See if he can find a spot out there to get a base knock.
Had a good barrel to the second baseman in his first at bat. Full count pitch. Swung on. This is a hard ground ball. Up the middle. Good play from the shortstop. Flips it to the second baseman. Throws it to first. Double play. And Wasatch again gets the leadoff guy on, but a double play clears the bases. Wasatch now has 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Good barrel from Kelson.
How good of a play was that, Tyler? Glove side, reaching out, goes glove flip to the second baseman. That's too bad because that ball had every chance to be a base hit. But a good range from the shortstop takes it away.
Too bad. That's 2 barrels now from Kelson Stocking, just right at infielders who have made good plays. Now Wasatch has to try to get something going with 2 outs. It's going to be Tragun Shaw up. He's going to swing. He's going to roll over to the second baseman. Good hop. Throws it to first. And Wasatch once again scoreless through 5. Back-to-back ground outs. Has no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Wasatch trails 5-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Well, it's time for the 5th inning stretch at Provo High School. Wasatch is trailing 5-0 to the Bulldogs, heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's time for a Gordon Law Group stat recap to get you caught up on how we got to this point in this one. Remember, Wasatch comes in on a 5-game winning streak where they've outscored their opponents 59-13. But this has not been pretty here today for the Wasps. And the story that needs to be told here is the pitching, unfortunately, has just not been accurate for Wasatch. 6 base on balls from the pitchers, and Provo pushed across 2 runs without even getting a hit, mixing in a couple errors that also have happened from Wasatch in the field. They've got 2 errors out there, and that's kind of been the story here. Wasatch gave some freebies, and then Provo got a couple hits to push across a couple more runs. But as far as effectiveness, neither team has really swung the ball or the bats really that well in the ball game. The box score will look a little bit like this, though. Provo got 1 run in the first inning on no hits. Couple walks, was able to get them a run across the board. Second inning, again, 1 run on no hits. Walks got a run across the board as Provo manufactured another run. Third inning, again, Wasatch walked a couple guys early on. And then Provo did get a couple hits and pushed 3 across the board. And the 4th, neither team got a run. And at this point, that's how we've gotten to 5-0 on the score in this one. Gage Sheesh on the mound for the Wasps right now. In relief for Jackson Kelson, who got the start. He'll start off the 5th inning with a strike. Called strike, and then quickly comes back with a swing and a miss. And just like that, Gage is up 0-2 on the Bulldogs. But Wasatch is down to only 6 outs left. Gage pumps the 0-2. It's a fastball outside. Kelson trying to hold on to it on the corner and tempt the umpire to give the call, but he does not. 1-2 now the count. Working from the windup. Gage settles, brings a breaking pitch, which is fouled back into the face mask of Kelson Stocking. This game, when it started here today, had some bizarre weather. Came through a little bit of a flurry in Provo Canyon of snow when we got here. So it was lightly snowing, but also the sun was shining through. And so you get sunburned and snowed on at the same time. The snow has since gone away. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 as she puts the fastball by him. And like that, Wasatch gets the leadoff man out. And that'll bring up the 4-hitter, Campton Fuller. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a walk and a single. Got the first base hit of the game in the 3rd inning. Fuller sees a curveball hit the plate, bounces into the hands of Stocking. 1-0 now after the first pitch. And there's another ball heading to the opposite field, but a great play by Carter Bucata, shortstop, reaching over to the backhand side and snags that ball out of the air. That's out number 2 on another nice defensive play from Carter Bucata. A potential good spot day play of the game. Both Bucata and Kelson Stocking having some excellent defensive plays over the last inning plus in this one.
Yeah, Ty, as we get into we're in the bottom of the 5th. If you're the pitching coach, you got to start looking at pitch count, right? Like, you have 2 more games. Gage is at 44. You want to keep him under 60, right? So you can come back on Friday. You wouldn't be able to throw tomorrow, but be able to come back on Friday. It's going to bring up number 1, Burge, a freshman.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tyler. The pitching right now for Wasatch, Jackson Kelson is burned for the week now. He can't be used unless for some reason the game got pushed to Saturday. Then you could come back with him. So even though he only went 2+ in this one, he's done for the week because of the high school pitch count rules. And now you're starting to think about that with Gage, who has been one of your most effective relievers. He certainly can't come back tomorrow. That home game, Gage is done because he's gone over 35 pitches. But again, if you want to use him on Friday, he's probably only got this inning left. He's not going to come out for the next one.
Wasatch does have Garrett Baxter getting ready in the bullpen. 2-1 count here to Burge. Make it 3-1 as he misses low. Wasatch down to 6 outs left in this ball game, down 5-0. Have yet to push a run across. And have yet to go through their lineup twice. Another hard line drive. This one's going to be right at Chet Wilson. He's going to catch it, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game for Wasatch. Comes in the bottom of the 5th. No runs on no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. 5-0, Wasatch down as we go into the top of the 6th.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no-pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak. Let's catch up!
6th inning action brought to you by Wasatch Back Grill and Deli. It's a family-owned and operated business that has been serving Heber great food and customer service for the past 7 years.
Ty, Brad James, our statistician, helped me out when I talked about a team from Utah down there at Bishop Gorman right now. It's Juan Diego. He's playing down at Bishop Gorman.
Swung on by Carter Bucata. It's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman. Man, that thing was moving all over the place. Gets it over to Lem, the pitcher who's covering first, a step before Carter Bucata reached. And Wasatch has the first guy retired on 1 pitch. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Wasatch still down 5-0. That's the second time through the lineup for Wasatch This is the third time through now for Crew Erickson. He did single up the middle in his last at-bat, grounded out of the second baseman in his first at-bat.
Yeah, Crew's extending his hitting streak to 12 games now, Tyler, after getting a single earlier in this one.
Takes strike one. Had a nice, it was a 2-out swing up the middle. It was a good play by the shortstop, just didn't throw it to first base in time. 73 pitches now for Lamb. Continue to be efficient for the Provo Bulldogs. Has the most innings pitched on the team, 29 2/3 inning pitch coming into this game. This one swung on. It's going to go to the left center field. That's going to drop, so 2 singles here for Crew. This one's going to bounce over center fielder's head. Crew's going to try to leg this one out. Make it a single with an error by the center fielder as Wasatch has a runner on second base with 1 out, bringing up Chet Wilson. Flew out to left field in his first at-bat and grounded out to the pitcher in his second at-bat. See if that gets Wasatch going a little bit. There's been a couple of nice plays in the field for Wasatch. We're hoping to be a spark. And now Crew does a good job of getting the single, and then a bat hop in the outfield allows them to advance to second base.
Well, when you hit practice or watch film or whatever this team wants to do, that's one you point at and say, look, you're down 5-0, and Crew is going full speed out of the box. He doesn't care what the score is or that's a little flare ball. And because of it, he gets an extra base. He steals a base from Provo on the lazy play by the center fielder. And this team's not going away, Tyler. This Wasatch team, just because they're down 5-0, they're coached well, and they're trained to fight until the end, and you're going to see a good fight here from this team.
Bring up Chet Wilson, 447 batting average, takes strike one. He'll now reset. Back-to-back innings now where the Wasatch was able to keep the Bulldogs scoreless. Gave up 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 0 in the fourth, and 0 in the fifth. 0-1, this one bounces, it's going to get away from the catcher. Crew's going to advance to third base. Wasatch has a little bit of a long ways to go, but threatening here in the top of the sixth.
Yeah, all you need is a little life, right? If you're Wasatch, just get a little life, something that you can get some hope and a little confidence in. And Crew's providing that right now, Tyler. A little flare ball. Frankly, wasn't a great barrel, but he battled it off. And now he's taking bags just by using ability, speed, good reads. And he's got himself in a good spot, less than 2 outs. Chet should be able to get this run across the board.
1-1 count. Chet again got a little bit ahead of a pitch and grounded out of the pitcher. 1-1 pitch, fastball into the opposite batter's box, moves the count to 2-1. Sun's starting to finally show here. Not a lot of wind. 2-1 count, Lamb sets, looks at Crew, delivers. A little bit up in the zone, but gets the called strike, moves the count to 2-2. This is where Lamb's been effective. He's got 3 pitches that he's come with. Gotten a couple strikes out on the slider. Throws the curveball for a strike. Sneaky fastball. 2-2. 1 out. Pitch. Tries to get that outside corner again. Too far outside. Moves the count to full.
Well, this is an interesting spot for a pitcher here, Tyler. You've got 2 bases open, but you've got 3, 4, 5 behind them. So I'm not sure you want to get too cute with this.
3-2, outside. Chet thought he may have snuck that one in there. He paused for a second, but it is a base on balls. And so Wasatch has 2 runners on now with 1 out. It's going to bring up Peyton Swap, who's had 2 barrels on the day. He flew out to right field, deep to right field, and then lined out to the shortstop in his last at-bat.
You know, Tyler, we've been a little critical on some of the stuff that Coach Moore does from time to time out there, but he's really managed a pretty good game here today. This is a good move from the coach to come out and talk to his young pitcher, Lamb. He knows what he's got coming up to the box. He's fully aware of Peyton Swap. He knows the kind of hitter he is, and with runners on first and third, with 1 swing, this could all of a sudden become a very tight game. Peyton could easily make this one a 5-3 game, and so Lance is coming out and he's talking to his guy saying we need to be careful here. We don't want to give this guy something that he can hit and get into his wheelhouse. And so it'll be interesting to see how they come back and throw here to Peyton.
Peyton's been good over the last 5 games. 467 batting average, 636 on base percentage, 8 RBIs. He's got an RBI opportunity here. 1 out, first and third. Wasatch looking to get their first run of the ball game, down 5-0 in the top of the 6th. Lamb sets after shaking off a pitch. Delivers. Fastball inside. Payne thought it was a little bit too far inside, but takes the strike.
And the umpire thought about it too for a second. That was clearly on the border because he hesitated for a moment before making the call.
First and third, safe checked. Gets aggressive over first base. Swing and a miss here from Peyton, so he falls down 0-2. 82 pitches now for Lamb on the ball game. 2 strikes, no balls to Swap. Lamb gets the pitch he likes. Delivers the 0-2, way high, brings count to 1-2. Try to go upstairs on Peyton. It's a bold move, Ty. I'm not sure if I'd go fastball up in the zone to Peyton.
You better be good with it, is what it is, Tyler, because if you miss, that's one that you could pay for.
1-2 pitch, delivered, swung on, and he gets Peyton swinging. Missed opportunity there for Swap as he goes down swinging. It's going to bring up Cole Zimmerman with 2 outs. Cole had a single in his last at-bat to left field, struck out looking in his first at-bat. He had a good day against Provo last year at Provo High. He's got probably the hottest hitter on the team behind him, and Jack Bluth.
Yeah, but Cole's pushing for the hottest hitter title too, Tyler. Hits in 4 out of his last 5 at-bats. 4 out of his last 6, excuse me. He's going back to 2 this game.
Lamb will try a pickoff move over to Wilson at first. Wilson back in time easily. Cole sets. Still no pitch here in this at-bat. 10 RBIs on the year for Cole. Lamb will set. Delivers. Swung on. It's a hard ground ball, but it's going to go right to the second baseman. Second baseman scoops it up, and once again, Provo has a shutout inning as Wasatch goes down on no runs, 1 hit. 2 are left on base, no errors from Provo. As we go into the bottom of the 6th, still down 5-0. You're listening to 94.5 The Peak.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Back Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hurst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Back Flooring and Paint.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist dedicated to your total recovery from sports injuries, auto injuries, industrial and or commercial injuries. Let Dan Ivey and his team get you back to 100%. Sponsors of our run scored, and it has not happened in the ball games. Wasatch down 5-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Only 3 hits in the ball game for Wasatch, 2 coming by Crew Erickson, 1 by Cole Zimmerman, and that has been it for the Wasps as far as hits go. Up for the Bulldogs will be number 26, first baseman, senior, Straight, had an RBI single in his last at-bat, has 7 RBIs now on the year. Reached in both at-bats as he walked in his first at-bat. Gage Sheesh still on the mound for the Wasps. Fastball up in the zone for ball 1.
It's amazing how sometimes history repeats itself with baseball. Last year, Wasatch and Provo faced off, and game 1 was a 1-0, just pitcher's gem. And this one's not so much a pitcher's gem necessarily, Tyler, but Wasatch struggling to find hits. I think in that 1-0 win, they only had 3 hits last year, and they just got timely hits. And then the next game, both teams exploded offensively with 30 runs between the 2 teams. So just because this has been a low-scoring affair doesn't mean by any stretch of the next couple games the bats might not wake up.
2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled back, 2-2.
Sometimes in baseball, you see this in the majors, you just get outliers. You get games where teams put up 15 to 20 runs on good pitchers, and other games where they can't get a hit, and that's just how the game goes sometimes.
Well, and the old adage or the old saying is that momentum in baseball is as good as tomorrow's starting pitcher. And I think Wasatch might be a little bit stronger on the starting pitching side as we look down the Spanish Fork roster here, or excuse me, the Provo roster. You got a couple of guys that have 13 innings pitched on the year, but their ERAs are above 5. So not as good as Lamb. Lamb's by far their ace. Again, 29 and 2/3 innings pitched, 378 batting average coming into today's game. Another pitch swung on and fouled back. Full count still. Pitches count up to 55 for Gage. Fastball, and he's going to miss. So leadoff guy is on base once again for Provo. He's going to bring up Lamb, the pitcher, junior. Struck out looking his last at bat. Grounded out to the third baseman in his first at bat. Lance comes up to have a conversation.
Going to have a pinch runner.
Pinch runner. Number 22 is Nielsen. Has scored a run on the year, sophomore. Big surprise, Wasatch has been averaging 12 runs a game over their last 5 games, 13.4 hits a game, and just the bats haven't been there. I don't think the approach has been bad, Ty. They've had a couple of bad breaks. Shortstop for Provo's played really well.
Yeah, the shortstop alone has taken 2 or 3 hits away from the Wasps.
Yeah.
He's had a good game defensively.
The 1 inning, make it the 4th inning, the 3rd inning, Wasatch had runners on, just kind of ran themselves out of that inning, got picked off twice on the base pass in that inning. So a couple of mistakes, missed opportunity in the last one with the runner on third with 1 out, and Wasatch can't get the run across. Fastball down for ball 1 here to Lamb. Again, Lamb grounded out at third base and has a strikeout. Came in as a .240 hitter, but has been stellar on the mound, keeping Wasatch at bay. Only 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk. Also adds 4 Ks. Gage is going to try to pick off, move over at first, not in time. Teams will turn around and play again tomorrow at Wasatch High School and then be back down here for Game 3 on Friday. Gage sets, delivers the 1-0. He's up in the count again, or up in the zone again, makes the count 2-0. Pitch number 58. So this would be his last pitch if they wanted him to come back and throw on Friday. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the plan. Gage sets, delivers. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Makes the count 2-1. Did I miss? They have, oh no, never mind.
You know, Ty, for what it's worth, Provo's got a unique scoreboard out here where they count pitches. I've only got Gage at 57 on our book, so he may have a couple more. But to your point, I don't think Wasatch is taking him out either way.
Swing and a miss, but a delayed steal. And the hitter goes in front of Kelton Stocking, so what are they going to call here? It's a swing and a miss by Lamb.
So the batter should be out, Ty, and then the runner has to go back to first base.
So 1 out. So nobody had this conversation on who's going to be out, the hitter or the runner.
Well, unfortunately, we can answer this for Lance because we had one player get out 3 times in this game against Provo last year on this very issue. And so the hitter is the one that is called out in this scenario. So that was honestly a little taste of Provo's own medicine there, wasn't it? Wasatch last year, Provo 3 times came up and went to pick off pump fake throw when he saw the batter coming across home plate, and you can't do that if you're the hitter, and so the catcher intentionally made contact because the batter was out of the zone and the batter kept getting called out over and over for Wasatch.
I think the conversation that Coach Jacobson's having is that was strike 3, right? So the hitter was out already, or was that only strike 2?
I only had it as strike 2.
Okay, so strike 2. So if the batter, so Coach Jacobson's saying, are they both out, or is the runner out and then they reset it 2-2? So it was only strike 2. So 2-2 count, but the hitter is going to be automatically out. The runner goes back to first base. So 1 out, still a runner on first. And what he said now is it is going to be a pinch hitter. Instead of Frazier, number 48, it's going to be number 8. Number 8 is Tucker, 267 batting average. Has a home run on the year. Not in the lineup, but 1 home run and 6 RBIs. Frazier before that had struck out and popped out to the pitcher. Pause in the action brought to you by Mirror Lake Station. Best donuts in Utah.
Yeah, you said that so casually, Ty.
Well, I think everybody knows.
Deserve a little bit more attention, don't you think?
They know it.
Well, I hope they know.
I'm pretty upset that I missed out on goodies and grown-ups. Actually, I think it's still maybe next week. Is it next week?
Yeah. Well, you know what, Ty? I thought it was tomorrow.
Oh, was it tomorrow?
We better get our act together.
We better get our act together as
what
grown-ups of our kiddos. That's what we need to figure out.
But they've got donuts coming either way, right, when we get it figured out?
It's been a long week for us. We've been doing promenade practice in the morning. We're a little tired.
Not you and I promenading,
no,
right? Chaperoning the students who are doing promenade.
Gage comes with a strike one to Tucker. Yeah, we do need to clarify that.
And that's a spectacle, I'll tell you what. They can take a couple hundred students and make them look like they know how to dance here in a very short amount of time.
It's impressive.
It's pretty good work.
Ball one, moves count to 1-1.
Student government of Wasatch has also done a good job putting together this event that's coming up, Tyler.
Last practice tomorrow. And then prom will be on Saturday. 1-1 count. Gage takes a peek, delivers. Swung on and missed. Way behind that fastball was Tucker. Again, as mentioned, Tucker, a junior, does have a home run on the year.
Wasatch trailing 5-0 in this game. If you're just joining us, bottom of the 6th inning. Only 3 outs left offensively for the Wasps to climb back from this deficit.
Curveball, a bit low and outside, moves the count to 2-2. There's a big lead over there by number 22, Nielsen. Let's see what he decides to do here. Lance takes time. Make sure he has the count right. Delivers the signal. 5-step lead over there for Nielsen. Takes another one. Gage delivers. No movement by the runner, but does get the pitch on the outside corner. Strikeout looking. Second strikeout of the game for Gage Sheesh. Again, your strikeouts brought to you by Physical at the Fit Stop. Going to have another pinch runner. This time it's going to be number 17.
Pinch hitter, I think.
Rainier. Did I say runner?
Yeah.
I meant hitter.
This is another one of those Provo names.
That's right. Rainier, only a freshman, 1 for 7 on the year with an RBI. His older brother, really good ball player for Provo over the past 3 years. I think was a 3-year starter.
Yeah, third base and pitcher. Hit in the middle of the lineup for most of his career. And you'd have to imagine younger sibling here has played a little ball with him and probably knows a thing or two.
Hitting from the left-hand side.
Wearing that number 17, like his older brother. So many kids do that, right? They wear what their older brothers do. Look up to those older siblings. Looking out at Chet Wilson wearing number 5 for Wasatch. Same thing. Wyatt Wilson wore number 5, his older brother.
Kelton Stocking thought that was a strike. He's looking back at the umpire. He thought that one was in there. Moves the count to 1-0 to the pinch hitter, Rainier. Gage pauses a little bit longer that time. Throws a strike over the plate. Moves the count to 1-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Wasatch trails 5-0. After giving up 5 in the first 3, they've settled down and haven't given up a run, but the bats just haven't ever woken up today. You know, some old fun items you can do in the dugout to wake up the bats, as they'd say.
Did you see what Otani?
Yeah, so Clint Kelson, former coach here at Wasatch and great player, would get the bats and throw them out onto the field and kick them. My tradition was I like to just yell at the bats to wake them up. Otani yesterday was given CPR to his bat. It didn't need woken up. It needed to be revived is what his bat needed after his slow start. I thought that was pretty good.
Only 3 for 21 or something to start the season, so he was trying to bring it back to life.
Only 3 for 21, but one of those hits was 120 off the bat. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
120 off the bat.
Oh, how'd you like to be in front of that ball coming at you?
I wouldn't. I would move. 2-2 the count.
I would be impressed if you could get moved in time, Ty.
Gage decided to go submarine, and that's off, and it gets by the catcher, and it's going to bring up a full count now with the runner in scoring position to the number 9 hitter. I think you go after this guy, number 9, hasn't had a lot of experience.
Yeah, but these kids are high school kids too. Gage, I can't tell you how many times in practice when I was his pitching coach, he would say, "Coach, look at this underhand submarine that I got going on under here, or this knuckleball I'm working on."
Comes back with a fastball, another strikeout. As Wasatch is able to retire the side. No runs on no hits, no errors. 1 runner is left on base. And this is it for the Wasps. We move into the top of the 7th. They've got 3 outs to score 5 runs to extend the ball game. 94-5 the peak.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the number one reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the number one reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strong disapproval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the seventh action brought to you by Gucci Goo Barbecue. From the words of the Gucci Goo customers, this BBQ is super good. The nachos and sundae were amazing, and we definitely ate more than we should have. The portions are perfect for a single person, and the combination of good meat, sauces, and texture made these absolutely amazing. I definitely will come back here again. Gucci Goo Barbecue over in Midway, Utah. Top of the seventh, 5-0.
Those nachos are good, Tyler. Those scoop Fritos that they start with, then they'll drop on the special kind of barbecue sauce, some sour cream, some cheese, your choice of meat, chicken, pork, sausage, whatever you want. That's some good stuff over at Gucci Goo.
Jack Bluth comes up, had a strikeout in his first at bat, then reached on an error. He's going to smoke this one down the right field line. Right fielder gets over to it and gets it in to keep Jack Bluth at a single. But a good swing there from Jack. He was right on that fastball, and Wasatch has their first guy on.
Yeah, it's a great swing from Jack, Tyler. He continues to swing it well. But again, I want to talk just X's and O's for a second. I like how Provo is positioned defensively. They're kind of playing a no doubles defense right now. Outfield is deep, and that ball getting down the line, you're thinking maybe Jack can get to second base. But Provo did a good job of cutting it off and holding it to a long single. And that's the strategy here. If you're Provo with a 5-run lead, you're saying, okay, if you can hold them to singles, you need 8 singles out of 11 at bats just to even tie this one up, or even 9 singles. And the stats aren't in your favor if you're Wasatch. Only 3 hits coming into this inning in the first 18 outs. And so that's how Provo's electing to play it. They're going back and saying, you got to get a lot of base hits in front of us if you want to get back into this game. It's a good strategy.
It's going to bring up Jackson Bolander, who's going to take 3 straight balls. He walked in his last at-bat, reached on an error by the second baseman in his first at-bat, now has a 3-0 count. And if you're Wasatch, you need base runners.
Yeah, I was going to say, that strategy I just talked about only works if you throw strikes. If you start walking guys, all of a sudden that game can tighten up real quick.
3-1 count. 91 pitches now for Lamb, as the next pitch is in there for a strike. 3-1 pitch delivered too far inside, and that's going to be another walk. Wasatch now has 2 base runners on, nobody out, bringing up Kelson Stocking. Kelson Stocking, a couple of good barrels, Ty. Grounded out to the second baseman and grounded out to the shortstop, but they were both good barrels. Alex Gutierrez is going to pinch run now for Jackson Bolander. Get a little bit more speed on the base pass. Kelson Stocking now up for the Wasps. It's going to bring a trip out to the mound for Lance Moore. Coach Lance Moore over at Provo. Tyler, got a lot of respect for Lance. He doesn't get necessarily, and I say this with respect as well, the marquee baseball player down here in the Valley, right? The marquee guys are going to different schools, but he just takes the talent that he has and he figures out to be competitive every year. And you said off air, he just puts pitchers on the mound to throw strikes. That's only the second walk of the game, right? He just invites teams to swing it. You know, you got to beat us by hitting, especially on our park. You've got to hit decent base. You got to have a lot of base hits. Yeah. We're not going to beat ourselves, and it makes them competitive year after year. They haven't ever been region champs, but they're competitive year after year.
And they're pesky to everyone. And Tyler, it's funny when you say it, right? Because it's kind of like that. Well, with all due respect, and then you feel like you say whatever you want, even though it's still disrespectful.
That's right.
But these Provo pitchers across the board, other than the Mason kid last year, was really pretty good.
Mason kid was good.
Was also excellent on the mound. But most of them are just extremely average. But what this Provo staff does is they give them tools to be effective. They teach them multiple pitches, and they encourage them to throw strikes even when they're sitting 70 to 76, like they're not overpowering, and it's effective for them, and it works. And you are right. You have to respect a program that buys into a philosophy like that and gets the job done.
Kelson Stocking's going to come up. He's going to take ball 1. In an inning like this, when you're down 5-0, oftentimes the coaches will say, hey, take until you get a strike, make the pitcher come to you, especially with the 93 pitches. Moves it to ball 2.
And this is where, as a coaching staff, you do want to rein in your guys just a little bit. Where you need 5 runs, you've got to be sure when you're advancing a base. So that dirt ball, you can see Jack was getting his regular secondary lead, thinking about going. But you don't go unless you're sure here because you just need a lot of base runners.
2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Moves the count to 2-1. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Wasatch trying to climb back in this thing. Have 3 outs to do it here in the top of the 7th.
You know, Provo would hate to have to go to their bullpen this late in this one as well, Tyler. They want to finish here with Lamb if they can.
Curveball is going to be in the dirt. Both runners will stay. Tyler's saying you stay at second base.
Sorry, it's the coaching mode coming back out a little bit, right? Where you outs are precious. You got 3 of them, and you let this team give you base runners. And until you get this within about a 1 or 2 run game, then you can start getting a little more aggressive. But for now, you just take these bases if Provo wants to give them to you.
3-1 pitch is a strike. Jack Bluth is going to take third base. Lost my breath there for a second. That one was close.
Jack doesn't care what I think, Tyler. He's taking that bag whether I like it or not. That was a called strike, frankly, right down the middle, and the catcher just missed it. It hit his glove and went out, and Jack took off. And that was close. The ball got down there to third. He put a tag on him, but it was back. And so Jack moves in front.
First and third, nobody out. Full count, Kelson Stocking. Lamb still on the mound, up to 97 pitches. Lamb sets. He's going to go first to third. Both runners for Wasatch not fooled. Kind of a slow motion back to first base for Alex Gutierrez. Shakes off the catcher here, now sets. Full count, delivered. That ball's low, another walk, and Wasatch have bases loaded with nobody out. Tragun Shaw now comes up. Tragun Shaw's rolled over twice, ground out to the first baseman and ground out to the second baseman. Tad Solser is going to come in as a speed-up runner. This won't be a pinch runner. It'll be a speed-up runner for the catcher, Kelson Stocking.
Curious to see how Tragun approaches this. He's a free swinger. He likes the first pitch. But Lamb's struggling. He's at 98 pitches, and you want to start chasing. See if Tragun plays with a little poise here and maybe sees till he gets a strike. But it's really tempting to go after that first fastball with the bases loaded as well, Ty.
Jack Bluth led off the inning with a single. Now back-to-back walks, and Wasatch has the bases loaded. Lamb does come with a fastball, strike 1. 99 now pitches. 99 pitches now for Lamb. Tragun sets in there with 1 strike.
That's a good take from Tragun, Tyler. You want to make the pitcher come back at you after he's walked a couple guys.
Lamb sets, looks at Verdugo, delivers. Swung on by Tragun Shaw. It's right at the first baseman. Bad hop, does fill that. He'll step on first base. And Wasatch got 1 run in, 1 out, second and third with 1 out now. Tragun's timing's been a little bit off on each of his swings as he grounds out to that left side again, but this one does produce a run. So Wasatch now 5-1 with 1 out.
Provo's going to be happy to do that, trade runs for outs at this point, though, Tyler. Crew Erickson standing on deck represents the tying run for Wasatch in this one. And so, again, if you're Provo, you'll let these guys on the bases cross just by trading outs.
Carter Bucott on the day, struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out to the first baseman in his second at-bat. He's going to take a curveball in there for strike 1.
And getting that runner out on first allows a pitcher to come back with that pitch, Tyler. Bases loaded, you're not as confident coming back with a breaking pitch because you don't want to walk a run in. You get that guy out, open bag, and now you feel like you can throw any pitch in any count.
0-1, fastball, it's up in the zone. It's going to be elevated to left field. Don't know if this one's deep enough. Left fielder's going to come underneath it, and Wasatch won't try the arm. So second and third now with 2 outs as we move back to the top of the order. Crew Erickson, 2 for 3 on the day, has 2 of Wasatch's 4 hits. Wasatch now down to their last out.
Well, you've got a chance. You're back to the top of the lineup. These are your best bats throughout the course of the season. We got him at 101. Well, Coach Moore just wants to check where he's at pitch count-wise, and that's
we
the dynamic
did the same thing
right?
with Aiden McGoffin a couple years ago. If you remember, Ty, I was over there every inning just making sure we were on the same page as far as pitches were going. Well, we're down to the last out. 2 outs, no count.
So let me go into those rules a little bit. Why it matters is at 110 pitches, you have to come out.
You can finish the batter.
You can finish a batter if you start at 109. And so sitting at 102 on the scoreboard right now, we've got them at 101. It's getting to that point here where if Crew finds his way on, then Chet is potentially the last batter he could face, and then Peyton would get a new one as a potential go-ahead run coming to the plate.
Crew's going to take a curveball for ball one. 5-1. Top of the seventh, 2 outs. Wasatch trying to stay alive. Crew sets. Takes fastball for a strike, moves the count to 1-1.
And it matters, Ty. If you can get to the bullpen in this one, even if you don't win, if you get to the bullpen, it changes the dynamic of the next 2 days for Provo.
1-1 count, swung on, fouled off.
Well, that was the pitch of the day, wasn't it, from Lamb? That was a really good hook that he threw in there. Had Crew off balance. Now 1-2, a lot of options available.
Alex Gutierrez on third, Tad Solser on second, both of them pinch running for Wasatch. 2 outs, top of the seventh, 1-2 count. Lamb sets, delivers. Fastball in the dirt. Martinez does a good job of keeping that in front of him, and we are now at a 2-2. 2-2, 2 count, 2 outs, 2 guys on. Chet Wilson on deck, the tying run for Wasatch. If Crew were able to extend this thing. Lamb sets. Takes a peek at both base runners. Delivers the 2-2. Swung on and gets the strikeout as Wasatch goes down 5-1 to Provo. That ends the 5-game losing streak as Wasatch loses 5-1. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Timberline Ace Hardware postgame show as Wasatch falls 5-1.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
5, 4, 3, 2.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Welcome back to the Timberline Ace Hardware post-game show. Timberline Ace Hardware right here in Heber City. Visit us for all your hardware needs. Come in to get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans at 737 South Main Street behind Panda Express, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years. Wasatch came into today's game riding high, 5-0, scoring 12 runs a game in that stretch. Had gone up to 6-7 in the record, and then the bats just didn't happen today. They lose 5-1. I'm going to throw it over to you, Ty, for our Gordon Law Group game recap. The Gordon Law Group is your full-service local law firm practicing in all areas of the law. They take pride in saying, yeah, we do that.
I get my microphone over here. The game here, this is not pretty when you look at the box score. Wasatch loses 5-1, but they out-hit Provo, and Wasatch didn't get a lot of hits. So let the numbers tell the story here. First inning, Provo outscored them 1-0. Second inning, Provo got another one, leading 2-0 after that point. Third inning, Provo got up to 5-0. Wasatch's only run came in the top of the seventh there. But Provo, the stat of the day is only 2 hits in the ball game. And you heard that right. They won 5-1 with only 2 hits. Wasatch walked 7 guys on the game, Tyler. But the difference here, going over and looking a little bit more closely on how Provo scored, the first inning, the run came across on a pass ball. A wild pitch that happened after a free walk, and a few more wild pitches got the runner across. So Provo didn't have to earn that run at all. Wasatch said, here's first, here's second, here's third, and here's home by just wild pitching that happened there. Second inning, same thing happened again. You had a walk that put the runner on base, and then Provo ended up having a ball that got put in play by the number 9 hitter to first base to Cole Zimmerman, and Zimmerman tried to flip it to Jackson Kelson, and Kelson had an error trying to hold it, and then the runner coming from second saw the error and tried to score home, and then you had a throwing error going back home. So anyway, there were three different circumstances in the second that got that run across the board. The third inning, when Provo got 3 runs, Wasatch walked a couple guys, and then Provo strung together their 2 hits. The only hits they had in the game came in the third inning when Wasatch had given free passes, and by the end of that inning, Wasatch again had given more freebies where they had a ball in play. After a couple walks, they went to first base, and Provo gambled. They ran on a ball hit to the first baseman, and they were able to sneak their way in. So again, without just kind of beating this thing to death here with this story, is Wasatch gifted this game away to Provo. They walked too many guys. Provo didn't earn it through hits. They were just disciplined at the plate and let Wasatch give them freebies. And then Provo made plays defensively. Wasatch had the ball in play for the most part, but Provo made plays behind them and was able to sneak away with a 5-1 win. So good pitch.